go.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Don Popple, and I'm your chairman today. And welcome to the Committee of Adjustment meeting for May the 12th, 2021, which will now come to order. I just have to do some preliminary comments first before we get going. First of all, a notice to all those in attendance that this meeting will be live streamed on YouTube and recorded. Please note the recording will be linked to the municipal website following the meeting. Our committee today consists of Mr. McKechnie, Mr. Walker, Mr. Bishop, and Mr. Isles, who is Director of Planning, and Danielle, who is running the show. So if you insult the chairman or anything like that, she's the one that pulls the button to shut you off. It's this committee's responsibility to consider two applications for a minor variance to the municipality zoning bylaw. It's our responsibility to consider all the information received to date regarding the requested variances and hear and consider any comments or questions provided by these applications. Any variances granted by the committee must meet 4 tests, which are very clearly defined in the Planning Act. Requested variance must be A, minor in nature, B, desirable for the property development of the land, comply with the general intent of the official plan, and comply with the general intent of the zoning bylaw. If anyone wishes to be notified of any decision, please make a request in writing to the municipality. I have to ask our committee members to hold their hand. Is there anyone who wishes to be notified, or any committee member who wishes to declare a conflict of interest? If I see no hands come up, I assume that we're all clear. We're ready to go? Let's see. So this committee and future Committee of Adjustment meetings were hosted by electronic participation format. I don't think we have to go through all that again, do we?
If you want to summarize it, you can. That's at your discretion.
Basically, anybody who is pre-registered will have an opportunity to present or ask questions about the proposals, and please direct all your questions directly to the chair. Okay, we need a mover and a seconder to adopt the minutes from April 14th, 2021. Mr. McKechnie and Mr. Bishop. I'll just take a minute here for Bill I said. All in favor of the motion be passed, please hold your hands up. We're good to go. Thank you. The first file that we're going to deal with is the DeVries file, and there was been some mix up in the notice requirements. Were not completed for the Planning Act, so we need to defer this application to the next meeting. But I'll just get Jeff to comment on where we're at with that.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. And just to echo what the Chair said, notice requirements for this file were not completed as per the Planning Act. So this file should be deferred until the meeting in June to allow staff to complete those proper notice requirements.
Okay, so we need to have a mover and a seconder for to defer this application to the next meeting, which will be in May. Moved by Gerald Walker, seconded by Walt McKechnie. You got it down?
Yep.
I don't have the thing here. Okay. Gerald.
It's a 2-pager, that's why it's so long. So yeah.
Jerry and
yeah, we can write it.
Okay. Okay, oh, here it is. Here you go, Gerald.
No, that's for Linda.
What is this? That's the one rep. Okay, after all these preliminary things, we have one application to deal with, Ms. Langille. And if you would like to address the committee we're all sitting here and bring us up to date on what your application, and I'm sure there'll be some questions.
Amy, may you please unmute yourself?
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Good morning. Thank you for your time, everybody. I have an existing three bedroom, 1-story cottage on my property, and it's a little bit too small, and there isn't really the opportunity to expand it. So I had hoped to build a smaller, an accessory building on the property. As you can see, I guess, do you have the paperwork at all to refer
We do.
to? Yeah, okay, so the purpose of this accessory building is just for overflow. It has the space for a bathroom and some lounge area and a platform, basically. I'm calling it a platform, but it's really a loft where we can fit one bed. And the size of the building envelope exceeds the permitted 485 square feet. It's 600. If you include the platform within the envelope of the building, it's 715 square feet. So I see it as a 1-story. The committee sees it as a 2-story, which I completely understand, but I was hoping that I might be able to make a strong case for being allowed to build a taller building with half a loft in it for overflow. The building.
I have a question with your septic system.
Yes, that's exactly what I was.
Show the tank quite close to the house, and then the actual system is beyond the other accessory building or the proposed accessory building.
That's right.
Are you using the same system to include your?
Yes. So when the tank will accommodate another bathroom, it was installed with an accessory building in mind down the road. The holding tank is between the house and the proposed accessory building, and then the septic bed is much higher up on the closer to where the driveway starts. And according to our specs, the tank is more than large enough to accommodate another bathroom.
You have to deal with the Department of Health with that anyway, but I was just
Yes.
curious. So
Yes.
I'm curious why you wouldn't just expand your house.
Well, it's curious. Like, I can't expand it toward the lake. Clearly, I can't expand it.
We wouldn't allow that.
I can't expand it to the right if you're facing the lake, because that's where the holding tank is. I can't really expand it to the left because it's so close to my neighbors, so close to the lot line. And the neighbor's house, they built so close to the line, to the property line, and they have all of this land to work with, but yet they built like right on the edge. So we're basically on top of each other at that point when we all have, 3 acres to spread out. I mean, this cabin it's like in the woods. It's a very heavily wooded lot. And we thought it would be quite camouflaged, if you will, from everything. I mean,
Well,
ideally, it would be nice to have it within the existing cabin, but there's only one way to go, and that's up.
The thing you have going for you is you do have a fairly good sized lot.
Yes.
We'll grant you that part, but we've also never approved 2-story accessory building.
Right.
And it's very clearly defined or very clearly stated in the Planning Act that that's a requirement. That
Right.
and like what you're asking for is there's pretty nearly 45%, 48% increase over what's allowed with the bylaw. And inevitably, not speaking out of turn here, but at some point you may sell this property. If there's a 2-story accessory building, you don't need to think that people will feel the same way that you feel about the control of the property. And it'll probably end up to be a rental and everything else because it's happened before.
Ah,
Not necessarily with a 2-story, but with a larger accessory building.
I mean, I see your point. I mean, we don't intend to sell, which is, you know, we're committed for our lifetime. But having said that, really the only purpose for the loft within the building is just to have it off the floor space for sleeping. Like 480 square feet isn't enough room really for a bed and sitting area. So that, I mean, that I'm just being very transparent. That's it. That's all we wanted, was to have the bed up higher and the seating area below. If it's, you know, if it's asking something well beyond what the committee is prepared to approve, then so be it. These are my reasons. I also wanted to mention there are some buildings on our lake that do look like they're well beyond the 485 square feet. I don't know if the precedent was set via an application or whether that was built under the radar.
Funny how that happens.
Um,
I'm going to open it to the committee for questions. So anybody wish to start off with anything here? I can't believe that we're not good. Mr. Bishop.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I would direct to you that although the applicant has said that she is somewhat concerned that other properties might have something similar to this built on it, I don't think that I'm particularly aware of it. The concern that I would have, Mr. Chair, is the fact is that Lipsey Lake it's a relatively narrow lake. It runs north and south, and you can see each shoreline very easily. It's I just don't see where, Mr. Chair, where the applicant has set forth the 4 tests that have to be met in regard to an application for this variance, and nor has the applicant shown that there is some constraint with respect to the property that prevents the property being used in conformity with the bylaw. Maybe the applicant can address those things.
Well, I'm not entirely sure if I understand your point clearly. I might have to ask you to elaborate. Are you suggesting that the cabin isn't situated in such a way that it will be well beyond the shoreline, and that it will be completely within the property, the 100-foot setback, so that it's not visible from the lakeside or not visible by the neighbors?
Mr. Chair, I would suggest that that would be a concern, but we don't know what I'm just pointing out what I know about the physical attitude of the Lipsey Lake body of water. But the other side of it is that the applicant hasn't shown that meeting the bylaw can't be done because of some physical constraint with regard to the lot. The bylaw can be met. And this is not a need, it's a desire, if I may express it that way, Mr. Chair.
Care to comment on that, Mr. Nunzio? Mr. Walker?
There, can you hear me?
Yeah. and now-
So I'm just looking at the square footage, and I guess with the loft being included, that that is actually part of the proposed square footage by having the loft there. So is there an opportunity for the for you as a client or for the applicant to eliminate the loft? That way it wouldn't be in, if I interpret this right, once the loft is removed, it's no longer a two-story building, and it also reduces your square footage. Am I right on that, Jeff?
Yes, correct. So once that loft would be removed, we would just be looking at the gross floor area of the one story, which I think the applicant mentioned was around 600.
Right. So then it's not a two-story building, which doesn't require minor variance. And so then we're only dealing with the size of the building. Is that correct?
Right.
Okay. So would the applicant be open to the process of removing the loft and, maybe negotiating a bit on the square footage?
I would. That would be, thank you for bringing that up. I mean, that would be my plan B or option 2 if the committee wasn't for the loft suggestion. If I was to have it as a one-story accessory building, would the committee allow me to expand the square footage to the 700 mark?
First house was only 800. Guess things have changed. I don't know if we would go to 800 square feet, but I'm sure we probably have a little bit of flexibility here with respect to that. I don't think you're going to be successful in getting the two-story.
Okay.
So maybe we can zero in on, can we give you an extra 10% as far as the main floor goes? Does that help you out?
An extra 10% based on which square footage can we put a number to it? Is it okay?
Just the main floor.
Yeah, if it's one story, if it's a one-story building,
Yeah.
Is it possible to extend it to 700 and
No,
no,
I
7,
don't think,
no,
we weren't thinking quite that much.
600 then? A 20 by 30 building?
I'd say we consider allowing you 550 square feet
So
on the one floor.
that's the max.
70 square feet larger than what we allow under the bylaw.
Uh-huh.
What do the rest of you people think about that? Walter?
Hello, I just a few years ago built one of these buildings you're trying to build here. I'm sorry, your first name again is?
My name is
Yeah.
Amy.
Amy, how you doing? It's Walt.
Good, hi.
But I know all about mine's exactly the 484 square feet. And I definitely wanted it a little bit more, but at the time, I spent a lot of time talking with the building inspector. And it just doesn't, I was going to get a lot of kickback on it. So anything that we're going to grant you above the 485, I think you should, maybe take it and run. It is a lot more room than you realize.
Okay.
It doesn't seem like it is, but people who are going to be in there are going to spend a lot of time in there anyways. I've been through the process, and the 484 feet is quite adequate. But anything that we're going to grant you above that, I would take it.
Okay, well, I appreciate that, and thank you for your feedback. I do have concern that there are a couple of buildings on Lipsey Lake that are accessory buildings for other lots that are beyond 485. Just so you know, there has been a precedent set, but I can listen. I put forth my plan, and if it doesn't abide, then that's what we're here for. If it's offensive in any way, then I'll take what you're able to give me. So you had mentioned 485 plus 10%, is that right?
185 plus 10% would be, but yeah.
About five,
We have to check, we have to hear from the other committee members first.
okay.
Mr. Walker?
I do agree with Walt there. You got a beautiful design, and it does look like it matches up with your house pretty nice as well. So by having the loft removed and having that open concept with the glass, it's going to appear bigger than it is.
Yes.
You know, I would be agreeable with the chair as, 550 square feet. I know your concern about the neighbors. We have to look at it as a municipal bylaw, so we're not looking at one lake, we're looking at many, many lakes and many applications. So as the chairman mentioned, maybe this is a great opportunity. Not exactly what you wanted, but there's still a good opportunity for you. So I would be in favor of the 550, and looks like you'd have a nice accessory building there to complement your house.
Mr. Bishop?
Yes, Mr. Chair, and just looking at the initial design and plan, if you take out the concept of the wet bar and maybe a microwave or something like that, you got to watch out for this kitchen process. If you take that area out of it, you're going to have more room available to you on the one story as far as that's concerned. And I appreciate what Mr. Walker pointed out. This is the concept for just sleeping. You're going to be outside enjoying the out of doors. That's what a cottage is for. And so increasing it by 10% to accommodate the concept that she can't easily expand her cottage, making sure there is no wet bar or kitchen facilities in the new design, I would be acceptable to increasing the area that we've discussed so far.
Any other comments?
No, I'm agreeable to the 550.
Great. Would you be prepared to remove that?
I'll
I will.
move that.
And
second it.
You have your hand up, Mr. Bishop?
No, I'm just waiting for the motion.
Okay. Well, this is the way we'll handle it. First of all, the second variance was to permit a private cabin to be a detached two-story building as opposed to the permitted one-story building. Is someone move we deny that? Dave Bishop? Is there a seconder for that? Joe Walker. And that's carried. Okay, with someone, the first variance would be to permit the gross floor area of the cabin to be 550 square feet, which exceeds the permitted gross area by, well, Jeff will have to figure that out. Someone move and grant that? David Bishop. And the seconder is Walt McKechnie. Okay. Anything else we gotta do with that? You got a comment on it, Jeff?
Danielle has something to say. We just have one more resolution though to adjourn the meeting. Everything's done.
Just before this application closes, I do want to read out the conditions so then the applicant is aware of them.
Okay. Okay,
So the conditions on this variance is that the variance applies to the oversized private cabin generally showed on the April 9th property sketch and the decision. During construction, proper sedimentation is to be occurred, and also to the county preservation shoreline bylaw for the trees is to be considered as well. There's also to be no kitchen within the private cabin.
Okay, noted. Thank you. Thank you.
there is an appeal period. Anyone in the township can appeal. They have 20 days from today when we grant this. So I just suggest hang tight. I don't expect there will be a lot of problems with that, but that's just the way it works, sort of thing. So, and hopefully you'll. I think that if your property wasn't as large as it is, and we probably wouldn't be considering it. So I'm not sure. I've never been on Lipsey Lake, but I know Mr. Bishop has several times. But I'm not sure of the cases that you're bringing out. But unfortunately, things have happened over the years, and that's just the way it is. So we'll eventually get We'll eventually get caught up with some of those people. So.
Mr. Chair, thank you very much for your time and
Thank you very much.
consideration.
Thank you. So what's the other thing we're going to deal with here?
That's it, just adjournment. That's the last resolution of the day.
Short meeting today, gentlemen. Someone move we adjourn. William Gerald Walker, seconded by Walt McKechnie. I'll consider that carried, that motion carried, and enjoy your day and all the good weather that's right around the corner, not very far away. So take care of yourself.
Take
Thank you.
care.